From the Opubco studios at Britton and Broadway, this is the OSU edition of the Bedlam Nation Conversation with Andrea Cohen. I'm Jenni Calrson. Andrea, let's start with baseball. Cowboys had a huge series over the weekend at Texas Tech. Needed to sweep, didn't get the job done, but what a dramatic finish for the Cowboys.
It's kind of a crazy thing. You were saying earlier, they lost won the battle, lost the war, because they won this series with Tech. But they lost the opening game on Friday night. They lost 9-8 on an error. And it's really heartbreaking because they actually ended up getting the help they needed. They also needed Baylor to go to Nebraska and get swept, which they did. So they it's really must be a pretty heartbreaking thing to look on Sunday and see that, oh, you got the help you needed in just one tiny error. You lost 9-8 on Friday night. So it is really disappointing for them, and they won't make the Big 12 tournament.
Not making the Big 12 tournament, any chance they could get into the NCAA tournament at this point?
It's unlikely. It's happened before. There's a precedent for it with an SEC team where it's happened before, but it seems pretty unlikely. And, you know, the one big thing that we've talked about a little bit in the past is that the Big 12 tournament is really going to miss Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State baseball fans are good fans, really come to the games. So it's really going to hurt the gate and kind of the atmosphere at Bricktown.
Let's turn from baseball to softball. Softball team goes to Florida State this last weekend for NCAA tournament play. They're the 4th seed out there. Actually did fairly well this weekend.
They did really well. They kind of exceeded some expectations. They beat Florida State. They ended up losing to Cal, losing 2 games to Cal. Cal, a very good traditional team, but so is Florida State, so it was really impressive. They went out there basically, to the host and upset somebody. So yeah, a really good postseason for them.
Seems like this is a turn for this program with Rich Welligman, the new coach of a couple years ago. Seems like he's now maybe turned a corner, and this program's now headed in the direction that it used to be going.
Yeah, and they're insanely young. I think their whole infield is like a bunch of freshmen, like one sophomore, something crazy like that. So they're really young. They don't lose much. They should just continue to get better.
Somebody that seems to be getting better and better, too. German Fernandez, the freshman running phenom at Oklahoma State, won a couple of Big 12 championships over the weekend. He's a guy that's won a lot of championships and probably will continue to do that. What did he do over the weekend, and what's next for him?
They went to Lubbock. He ran his first 1,500 of the outdoor season and won it by something like 8 seconds. And then ran for the 5,000 and won that, I think, by about 3 seconds. Stayed with the pack the whole way, just pulled away at the end. Those are in the same day. Those are like 2.5 hours apart, so it's kind of a crazy thing for him to have done. And he'd been a little bit sick, a little bit hurt for the last couple of weeks. Talked to him, I guess it was Wednesday, and he said he was kind of starting to feel back to himself just this last week, and then he went out and won 2 Big 12 championships. So that's not bad.
So if he's healthy and goes to the NCAAs, who knows what he could do?
It should be really interesting to see what he can accomplish as a freshman at the NCAA championships.
Great. Thanks, Andrea. Stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.